Good morning, everybody, and here we are on our latest edition of this Unnamed Cybersecurity Podcast. We could really use a name. Could have something to do with helium, since Chris loves helium. It could have something to do with Carl sounding.
That's a
like
Carl thing. Don't
helium. So
do
if he
not
starts
put me in
talking
there.
like this real fast, it's just a technical issue. He has not been hacked. And by the way, I am not an AI. I am back. I don't want to be in my office. Outside is nicer. But hello. So Chris. Oh, I forgot to introduce you. We have Bob from Metro MSP. We have Chris, Mr. Helium, and Carl, Mr. Actual Helium from The Voice. And I'm Matt from Pittsburgh. But Chris, I believe you wanted to talk about some school.
I want to talk about helium now. No, I want to talk about helium now.
Helium?
Yeah, no, we can talk
helium?
about this.
You know, it's a valuable resource, and it's depleting, and we need to protect it.
Yeah.
Stop wasting it, Carl.
It is needed for MRIs, okay? We cannot stop wasting it in balloons for these children's birthday parties. We need it for the MRIs, okay?
You don't know how pretty it makes the balloons, man. Having these float up in the air saying happy birthday.
It makes Carl sound like a chipmunk too. But we have an active cyber attack, guys, like going on right now.
We have several.
We have one closer to me. That's kind of important.
Let's face it.
Not important for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like we actually know a guy up there, and it's Traverse City, Michigan, or Grand Traverse County. Actually, both of them are being hit with a cyber attack. And no, but you know what? They have insurance, guys. That's part of their press release was they have insurance. So we don't know exactly what's going on. We know yesterday this started. It's affecting the county. It's affecting the state or the city, and the Michigan State Police are involved. The FBI is involved. You know, actually, they got the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Agency. Didn't know that was a thing. They're involved as well. But that's not the interesting thing. 2 months ago, Grand Traverse County bragged that a spearphishing cyber attack failed on them because they had spent $57,000 on a security software package that was authorized by the board. And yesterday, they were hit with a cyber attack that apparently bypassed said package and now has an entire county down. I'm not saying that that's something that you should or should not do, but typically I wouldn't brag that I stopped a spear phishing attack. Like maybe internally, maybe we talk about it, but like I wouldn't put my name to it. But hey. So right now it looks like what they do, the county's IT department handles 1,500 information assets across 17 locations in 28 departments. So this is a big deal for Traverse City because, you know, it's the summer now and Traverse City is a travel destination and the Cherry Festival, the National Cherry Festival is up there in 2 weeks. So this is kind of a big deal because that entire area runs a lot through just like the summer months. Like that's where a lot of their income comes from. And this is on the heels of 2 months ago, their school district was hit with ransomware, where they had 1.2 terabytes stolen and had a $500,000 ransom, and then a $500,000 for hey, we won't release your data situation. It's been a rough go for them last couple months.
I wonder if they're related. You know?
Well, yeah, because it looks like Medusa, the Medusa group, which hits schools a lot. They were the ones that hit the school. We'll see. We'll have to see about what happened with the county and the city. Hopefully, like they can recover, obviously, and get back up and running. But it sounds like they had a pseudo good plan because they were talking about, you know, doing that spear phishing thing. They were talking about kind of like what they're doing. They were being very vague about it, which is good.
It's good.
But bragging about it probably not so good. But you know, they say that it's supposed to strip away URLs for websites that are malicious and things like that. So the important thing is it looks like they have a plan. They have the team in there to do it. Hopefully they have backup. Hopefully that wasn't hit. Hopefully it's something that gets them back up and running. But that's an active one. I have another one I can't talk about that's active right now. So
Chris, you actually mentioned Medusa. Haven't I heard them go after other schools?
Yeah, that's their big thing. That's their niche.
Hey,
so you know that
it's always good to niche down.
Yeah, exactly. All of us business owners are told niche down, right? Like niche down, and they're just like, so they're like, hey, we need schools.
Very efficient with schools. I love the comment about but we have cyber insurance. I feel like that's saying I have a hospital nearby, but I still don't want to get shot and go get fixed up. I mean, you still got shot.
Yes.
It's like,
I mean,
it's like any insurance. You don't want to use it, right?
Yeah.
it's like the airbags in a car.
So
Exactly the same.
So, Chris, I actually didn't see the article you were reading, or the press release that they spent $56,000 on a software package. But was this another thing like Target where they bought a software package and didn't necessarily have the right people managing it?
It might be, but I think the software package they said they did that went on everything. It looks like it's supposed to mark incoming messages to alert users that it may contain malicious content, and it's supposed to strip away the URL. That's what it's supposed to do. So it doesn't sound like it's endpoint detection response, which again, for everybody out there, that's just antivirus on crack. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But it's like an enhanced version of antivirus.
So it was actually a point solution addressing specifically email, not the big picture.
Yeah. And anytime you talk about stuff like this, it's never about one solution. It's about a defense in depth methodology, to where you're putting multiple layers. And let's go straight up Shrek here, like an onion. And you're putting multiple layers in security, so that if one thing is bypassed, you have a fail safe behind it, and maybe a fail safe behind that. And obviously, you don't want to get too deep on it. You want to have enough layers that you have protection and you minimize your risk, but you don't want to make it so it's so complex you can't actually do work.
Well, I mean, would you want to think of it as like, imagine you're taking your car out and it's snowing outside. It's really heavy. Yep. You'd want to make sure that you had the proper tires on the car, but you also want to make sure the driver's trained so that they don't hit the brakes when they go into a skid. So that's part of the problem. You can have a good tool, but if you don't have the proper people managing and trained on that, you're still going to have a bad result.
Yeah. And you guys saw the Ascension ransomware, right? That's been like all over the news. Has everybody seen that? Okay. So Ascension Healthcare got hit, right? And they finally admitted that all it was a user downloaded a malicious file and ran it. And that's how all of that happened. They didn't say, from what I haven't looked too deeply into it, but I don't think they said what group it was, what threat acting group it was. But yeah, they said it was just basically somebody downloading a file. Somebody downloaded a file, ran it, thought it was a legitimate file. I don't think they said whether it came from email or they just downloaded it, and that's what gave somebody initial access into the company. And then they did what they do. And that's so important to realize, is like, humans will make mistakes and we can train humans all day, but there are things that we need to put in place in businesses for guardrails that even if a human makes a mistake, that's not the nuclear bomb that goes off inside your company, right? You need to have fail safes. You need to have guardrails that says, hey, maybe this computer that this person on gets completely owned, and that computer needs to be taken out. But like, you need to have fail safes. You need to do as much as you can to make sure that PC is the only thing that's going to get hit.
And I'm going to use it like a daycare center. The kid's sick. You want to separate them from the rest of the kids.
Right.
And that's what we're really saying is putting those tools in place, but intelligently managing them.
Yeah. And gives gives you the opportunity to really kind of limit that blast radius. And that's really the key here. And it seems like over and over again, what we see in these attacks is they have all these top level things, like, so maybe you're getting hit and hit and hit, like from email, from phishing and phishing and phishing. But the second that gets by that, it's game on.
Well, yeah, there's no inner core of security.
And we need to live in reality too. It's like, if it's a serious attack, like a nation state actor, like a North Korea group or a Chinese group or something like that, you can have all the protection in the world, but if they really look at you deep enough, they can get in. I mean, ask Microsoft. Yeah. Microsoft's has been hit by that. Dell just got hit. Yeah, Dell has been hit by that. Government agencies have hit by that. If they really want to get in,
FBI.
Yeah, if you really want to get in, they can get in. But a lot of these attacks aren't like that, especially if you're a business. Most of them are just
realistically, most small businesses are not going to be hit by a nation state.
No, mostly automated, and then once they have that initial access, then they can get in. But yeah, that's where we're at with Traverse City. Hopefully they can get back up soon, and hopefully they kind of learn from this. And that's the other thing, we need to learn from these attacks as they happen, because and they're going to have to, I'm sure they're going to bring in like a third party, and the FBI will help them to kind of identify like how it happened, so that they can kind of like address that. That's a really important thing, is to really learn. So.
Cool. Well, I think that was probably enough for this week. Why don't we wrap this one up and let people get back to their crazy lives and kick off summer.
Well, I mean, Matt looks like he's already kicked off summer down there.
Matt's relaxed. Matt's chilling.
Dressed, ready to go load the camper for this weekend. I guess I have to work first. I'm sorry.
You got to get the laundry done first.
Yeah, get the laundry done. Yeah,
that's a pretty tall order, to be honest, with 4 kids. But yes.
To give you guys a little teaser for next week, I've been working on something that nobody else knows about, by the way. I've been working on something about putting together a list of things that how your multi-factor authentication can just be straight up stolen. So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Oh, I want to talk about that. Better than Helium.
Yeah, better than Helium. There's inside jokes here, people. I can't say it. If you
guys come to the pre-show, boy, it's fun.
So, yeah, I'm working on a couple of research projects just personally that I really want to talk about eventually here, where it might blow people's minds and like blow up the way that they see things. Multi-factor authentication is great. It's needed, but
it's not the end all.
No.
There's some interesting ways that attacks are happening right now that just make it very interesting.
Every time they build a better mousetrap, the mouse gets better.
All right, guys. Well, that's enough teaser for next week, and hopefully people can sleep. Talk to you later.
All right. Yep. Have a good week, guys.